Hey everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to another great webinar hosted by the Exit Planning Institute. Today is a very special one as we do our annual State of the Institute address. My name is John Weissar. I am the manager of the account management team here at EPI. I want to appreciate and say thank you for everybody joining us today. Today, joining us is Scott Snider, president of the Exit Planning Institute. Just a couple things for today. Scott will be talking about key trends in exit planning, learning about upcoming content that will be released, advancements in the field, and EPI's vision for the future. So definitely a great session to be a part of today. A couple housekeeping things before I turn it over to Scott, just to let everybody know that now that you are attending this webinar, you will receive continuing education credit for attending. And then on top of that, if you have any questions that you want to ask that we can hold towards the end, you can put them into the Q&A chat box, and we'll be able to relay those over to Scott towards the end of this webinar. So with that, Scott, thanks for joining us today. Definitely a big day today with the State of the Institute. And with that, I want to turn it over to you.
Cool. Thanks, John. Really appreciate it and welcome everybody. Really appreciate everybody coming out and spending a few minutes with us this afternoon for our 2025 State of the Institute address. And there is a ton of exciting news to talk about and a ton of reflection as well, as we are in the 20th anniversary of the Exit Planning Institute. So we'll touch on that as well. So for those of you that I may not know or may not know well, just maybe a brief introduction and maybe a tie to the passion that I have for our exit planning profession and our exit planning space. If you know our story, Dad and I bought the Exit Planning Institute back in 2012. So though we've been around for 20 years, Dad and I have only been around for a few of them. Though before we were owners, my dad, Chris Snider, was and is a certified exit planning advisor. Dad became a SEPA in 2008. He was part of the first 100 SEPAs. I think his certificate number hangs on the wall here still today, and I think it's number 93. So part of the first 100 SEPAs at the Exit Planning Institute. And when Dad became a SEPA, back in the day, we were really teaching philosophies, I would say, of exit planning, concepts, theories. And the problem that we saw back then was people struggled with implementation. They said, look, these are great philosophies, but how do we really get this integrated into what we do? So Dad became a SEPA, and kind of like our founders, Peter Chrisman and Rich Jackham, said to himself at the time as a business consultant, I think I'm missing something. And that something for Dad was the other two legs of the stool. It was the personal and personal financial. And so Dad becomes a SEPA, and I'm kind of running a concurrent path with him, if you will, owning and running my own business that I had started years ago, and the seat of my high school geometry class. And as Dad was getting everything integrated as a now freshly minted certified exit planning advisor, I actually executed my own exit, my first exit from the first company that I had started. And so now we're in, Dad became a SEPA, as I mentioned, in 2008. Now we're in 2009, 2010. And I'm on my own transition. And I think like many owners, I experienced a couple of hurdles and a couple of speed bumps along the way. I think really when I think about my exit in 2009 and 10, it was really my first exit planning lesson inside of our space. Although as a young man, I certainly had a good business exit. I had a decent financial strategy, a personal financial strategy or financial plan. But I had done no personal planning whatsoever. And I was just telling this story actually this morning to some of our new folks here at EPI. It was a really tough time in my life. I had gone through a bunch of different transitions and trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. You know, I had a landscape construction and snow and ice management company. So seeing your trucks floating around Northeast Ohio with your name on them, but not your ownership anymore was tough for me. What I realized then is that I had let my business define me. I had done no personal planning. And it was one of our kitchen table conversations with Dad where he looked at me and he said, Scott, fall in love with business. Don't fall in love with that business only. And what he was saying is, Scott, you have an entrepreneurial spirit about you. And he had then asked me to join Aspire Management, his consulting firm, where here in Northeast Ohio, he was working with lower middle market business owners on the business growth side. And what we all quickly realized once we were able to get together as a team at Aspire Management is that the industry still back then was siloed approach. Advisors coming in as the attorney, as the financial planner, as the CPA. So not a lot of cross collaboration that you see today. And Dad, perhaps being a Price Waterhouse guy that he is, created a gated methodology and approach that took these original concepts like the three-legged stool and implemented it into his practice, thus being able to implement it with business owners and amongst his advisory teams that he was bringing in along the way. And we challenged ourselves to really change our mindset to say, maybe we shouldn't be consulting and teaching business owners. Maybe we should be coaching and teaching professional advisors. And if we could bring a team of like-minded advisors together, we would be able to change owner outcomes. And we would be able to move companies from year-over-year success to long-term significance. And so I'm really happy to be with you guys here today in a celebration of 20 years of the Exit Planning Institute, and a year that is jam-packed with a ton of really cool stuff in a really growing community. And I can't wait to share some of those insights with you. So today's agenda, if you will, I want to talk and revisit EPI's purpose. For those of you that are deeply rooted as certified exit planning advisors, a part of our community, and those of you that are visitors and guests, maybe visiting us for the first time, I want to kind of focus in and align us around what our purpose is here. I want to do a little bit of a 2024 review, go into some of the shifting of the market that we're seeing through our National State of Owner Readiness Survey, talk about EPI's role in that or our response to these market shifts, and then end with some key initiatives for 2025 and beyond. So first, if you heard me speak already this year or maybe throughout last year, I start almost every single one of my presentations with this statement. This is the purpose of the Exit Planning Institute. It's the purpose for who I think our certified exit planning advisors are. We are advisors to business owners that take business owners on a journey that go from successful to long-term significance. And for me as a business owner, I think that this is truly really what we're after in our business owner or entrepreneurial journey. And so maybe if you hear my story a little bit, you guys can see yourselves as business owners or perhaps see your business owner clients. I think if you ask a business owner today, are you proud of what you've built and do you feel successful in what you've created? I think almost all owners would say absolutely yes. If you ask those baby boomer business owners, these long-term entrepreneurs who started companies out of their sheds, who have built them maybe across decades, maybe even across generations, they would say, yes, I am proud of what we've built. Our family lives a nice lifestyle. Our employees are doing well. We give back to our community. We have a strong balance sheet, a solid P&L. We have a meaningful product and service. We've navigated crisis along the way, like our recent pandemic from 2020, and we've popped out on the other side perhaps stronger than ever. So yes, I'm very proud and feel very successful in what I have done. But when they go to transition these companies, whether that's to their employees or sons and daughters, or to their business partners or management teams, or to third parties, they are kind of slapped across the face for the first time because although they've built something that has been perhaps wildly successful, they have not built anything that is significant. And I think if they heard what a significant company is, I think that's what they would really resonate with. I think that's what they would really align with. And I think that's what we as business owners are really after in our career journeys. And for us at EPI, a significant company is one that is highly valuable, transferable, ready, and attractive, that is aligned to the business owner's business, personal, and financial goals. And I think that is the mission that we're on at the Exit Planning Institute. That is the purpose for our certified exit planning advisors. And whether our lower middle market business owners know it or not, I think that's what we're truly after. We want an asset that we can harvest, a legacy that we can create, and move from very successful year over year to something that's long-term significant. And so that is a message that we've been driving probably for the last couple of years, and a vision that we certainly have for the future. So let's do a year in review. So 2024, one hell of a year here at the Exit Planning Institute, and a fantastic year, I think, for the EPI community. About this time last year, we were just arriving home from speaking at the U.S. Senate. I had an absolutely amazing opportunity to be invited into a small Senate committee that reviewed exit planning, wealth transfer, and succession planning in the United States. I was asked to be one of 4 expert witnesses where I wrote a testimony and then reviewed that live in front of these 19 members of the U.S. Senate. A really incredible opportunity. We came home from that opportunity and launched our State of Owner Readiness Survey results on this very State of the Institute address last year, about really this time. And what we found, and what I'd like to share with you as we move through our presentation today, is some pretty dramatic shifts 10 years later in our next National State of Owner Readiness Survey. Some pretty significant market shifts that I think certainly affect us as business owners, but I think make massive impact for us as well as professional advisors to those business owners here inside of the EPI community. As we move through the year, many notable things, as you can see on your screen today, but one of the most notable is our Mastering the Market collection. Inspired by the Harvard Business Review, we wanted to put together a collection of articles from multiple different experts inside of the exit planning space and inside of the Exit Planning Institute community of advisors. We launched with our first collection around my pursuit of best-in-class practices. One of the things that we've done over the years is study our certified exit planning advisors and what makes them the most impactful to their business owner clients. There are 3 elements that I'll share throughout our presentation that we would consider best-in-class elements of a professional advisor. The first collection of Mastering the Market showcased those three elements and was released in the fall of last year. So really excited for our Mastering the Market collection. I frankly think it was one of the best pieces that EPI composed and put together in 2024. I think wildly impactful. Another 2,000 certified exit planning advisors entered the marketplace, and the Exit Planning Institute team expanded by 11 new teammates. Today we sit at about 45 employees on our way to 90 employees over the next 3 to 4 years. So pretty significant shifts. I'm also extremely proud to be named one of America's top small businesses, a part of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Awards. Even more impactful for me was that our 2 directors at the time, Paige and Jesse, went to Washington, D.C. to represent our company amongst all of these award nominees and award winners. I think a really impactful moment for us as a group of certified exit planning advisors and advisors to business owners, a really great decentralization point. It wasn't Chris or Scott representing the Exit Planning Institute and our community of advisors that EPI has. It was 2 employees of the Exit Planning Institute who are passionate about working with all of you and passionate about their work here at EPI. And I would challenge to say, in talking to Paige and Jesse, that they were maybe some of the only employees there, not the owner of the company. So I think a big win overall. But a pretty incredible year, I think, for the EPI community, and kind of a great foundation year to move into 2025 and begin to celebrate 20 years of the Exit Planning Institute. As I mentioned, one of the biggest things that we did last year was create a new National State of Owner Readiness Survey. And so if you follow EPI and you follow our research, we've done a dozen or more of these regionally throughout the United States over the years. But the original State of Owner Readiness Survey was conducted in 2013 by my dad, Chris, Pat O'Brien, and Chris Cooper, and the Cleveland chapter of the Exit Planning Institute. It started as a small survey of local Ohio-based privately held businesses and their owners. And as we started to get more the word out and bring on different partners along the way, it expanded in something bigger than what we had ever thought. It expanded into the first ever National State of Owner Readiness Survey, where we really went out to perhaps do 2 major things. One, we wanted to find out how educated business owners were on what value acceleration methodology is, on what exit strategy is, and the benefits of it. And then we wanted to find out how ready their businesses were to transition, and then how personally prepared. So studying the 3-legged stool approach. What we found back then, 10 years ago, that certainly owners were pretty ill prepared. They were not really thinking about exit strategy 10 years ago. And they were coming to market kind of haphazardly, if you will. They were frankly like me. They were selling their companies and perhaps successful at doing it, but they fell into that statistic that we hear frequently inside of our community that 75% of owners profoundly regret selling their business just a year after selling it. Well, I think that there have been many impactful moments throughout that decade. And in 2023, in the winter of 2023, we went out and surveyed business owners again. And in February of 2024, we released 10 years later the National State of Owner Readiness Survey that showed a pretty significant shift in both owner readiness and company readiness, but also how educated business owners were around what exit strategy is and its unique benefits. I think they were influenced a bit in 2020 and 2021 by our pandemic, which I think sped up some exits for some of our business owners. But I also think it showed a focus on exit planning. And I think as we sit here today, exit is kind of all around us. It's one of the reasons that I named my podcast Exit Is Now, is that I don't care if you're 25 years old or you're 65 years old. I think in the market today, we're seeing owners that are certainly more educated, thus being a little bit more ready and being more in tune to what exit planning is and can do. I think the age range is significant. The fact is that baby boomers last year, all of them are the youngest of them turned 60 years old. And so now baby boomers are all baby boomers are 60 years old or older. They are in fact turning 61 this year to 79. So I think timing is right. I think that for many owners, they're saying, look, in the next 5 years, I want to have some chips off the table. I am 65. So by the time I am 70, I want to slow down, or I might want to take all chips off the table and exit holistically. What I think is some of the most interesting stuff from the State of Owner Readiness Survey is that the younger generation seem to be a little bit more in tune to exit strategy. And I think that you're going to be their boomerang exits. So by the time I'm 65 years old, I might be on my third or fourth exit. Unlike our baby boomer counterparts, we are not holding businesses for decades upon decades. We are growing businesses to sell. We are naturally looking for decentralization moments along the way. And I think that we will boomerang back and own a new or start a new business every single decade or every 10 to 15 years. The Gen X crowd, that is a big chunk of our American business owners today, is turning 44 years old this year, and the oldest are turning 60. So a big shift both in mindset. Exit strategy is more familiar to me, and maybe I'm even deeply into it because of some things that happened in 2020 and 2021, given the pandemic and the shifts that we had in society and in business. And I'm just simply older. I'm thinking differently. I want different things. And so exit strategy is more in front of us than ever before. One of the major statistics that I think we saw inside of the State of Owner Readiness Survey is that there was an absolute major shift in who the owners considered their most trusted and most valued advisor. The most significant shift that you see is the financial advisor. The financial advisor in 2013, when the owner was asked, who is your most trusted advisor? Only 4% of owners indicated that the financial advisor was in fact their most trusted advisor. That put them on number 5 on the list. Well, 10 years later in 2023, nearly 30% of business owners indicated that the financial advisor was in fact their most trusted advisor, and perhaps rightfully so. There's been some significant shifts. I think the most significant shift is that business owners who are now embracing exit strategy look to have more of a relationship and not be a transaction. However, to do that as a professional advisor, we really have to kind of change our approach and change our mentality. First, we need to be educated on what exit planning is, and we need to become a resource for our business owners and frankly, a resource to each other as professional advisors. If you looked across the last decade, particularly the financial advisory crowd has made a significant effort to educate themselves, educate their firms, and equip themselves with the tools, resources, and people to really thrust the relation forward with business owners and deepen their relationship as the most trusted and most valued advisor. What some of these advisors have been really good at doing is instead of becoming an advisor that has been telling the owners the right answers, They have become an advisor that asks the right questions and listens. And instead of withholding insights until that owner prospect becomes an actual client of the firm, they're sharing insights early and often, becoming more than an advisor and venturing into becoming an educator of business owners. So I think we've seen a shift from 4% to 30%, putting the financial advisor at the top of the list. And you can see the little bit of the shift along the way. The accountant, the attorney, still top advisors to the business owner, really rounding out that core team, if you will, of advisors to a business owner. But certainly, I think an impactful moment because I think it tells us that education and the changing of your language and approach with owners does work. The next big shift that I always spend a lot of time on in our presentations when we talk about these 4 key observations of the State of Owner Readiness Survey is that it seems by dissecting the data that exit strategy is in fact a bigger priority for younger business owners. And as I say that, I think for some of us kind of pause and think, because if the baby boomers are 61 to 79 years old, you would think that they're more in tune to their exit because they're just naturally closer to it. However, I think the younger generations have actually kind of grown up through exit planning. I think one day my book might be simply that, growing up through the value acceleration methodology. Now, I have the benefit of having my dad who founded our methodology, but quite frankly, folks, I don't have any other way of running a business other than with success and significant in mind. It was introduced to me at an early age, and we've been running our company, deepening our relationship with the value acceleration methodology as the Exit Planning Institute, as owners and executives and employees here, deeper and deeper each year. Can you imagine just 10 years ago that millennial generation who in today's world are 29 years old to 43 years old? 10 years ago, they were 19 to 33. So if you're owning and running a business like I was, I've been naturally exposed to the value acceleration methodology and its teachings for a decade. And as such, I am more in tune to its benefits, and I am growing companies with the end in mind. But I also think that it relates to the employees of a company. If you use my business, the Exit Planning Institute, certainly our directors, our executive team, think in terms of value and income. Think short-term and long-term. So when now the executive team, not the owner, but the executive team are making critical business decisions, they're thinking with both caps on along the way. So naturally, that team is also more exposed to the value acceleration methodology. Education is all around us as well. I think also a contributing factor to the younger generations being more prepared. There are numerous podcasts, TV shows, content pieces, webinars, books that surround this topic more so than ever before, more so than a decade ago. In 2013, our book, Walking to Destiny, wasn't even written yet. It wasn't until 2016 that Dad released Walking to Destiny, what I call the Value Acceleration Handbook. And it wasn't until 2023 where Dad decided to update that with a second version. And so, again, younger generations, I think, naturally have just been more exposed. But maybe most importantly, I believe their generational characteristics really lean into exit strategy and the importance of value acceleration. If I think across the 3 generations that we have inside of our economy today in the privately held business sector, you certainly have baby boomers. They own about 51% of the privately held companies in America today. They are, I think they are, as an entrepreneur, I followed the baby boomers quite deeply. They are a wildly inspirational generation, particularly the baby boomer business owners. They have an incredible ability to harness and navigate risk and crisis, and as such have been able to create these strong decades old businesses that have made wild impacts, I think, inside of their community. But they still today lack some personal planning. And as such, they have been wildly focused on building their business and building their career. However, if you look into that young generation or the next 2 younger generations, if you're a Gen Xer on our State of the Institute address today, maybe you can see yourself in some of these generational characteristics. If you are somebody that is between 44 and 60 years old, it is likely that one of your core values, if not your biggest core value, is your time. You value your time. You understand that you have multiple passions as a person, business ownership and entrepreneurship being one of perhaps many. As such, you're always struggling and looking to naturally blend and balance your time with your community, your business, yourself, your family, your friends. You're looking for this blend and balance of work and life, or what we would call a blend and balance of business, personal, and financial goals. You also believe in decentralization. You might not call it that as a business owner, but you believe in amplifying and optimizing your time through the use of technology and hiring the right people to surround you along the way. As I talk through that as certified exit planning advisors on our webinar today, that screams value acceleration methodology for me. I can decentralize you from your business. I can create stronger employees. I can create a business that is independent of you. I can get you into the other passions in your life, naturally blending business, personal, and financial goals. And if you look at our millennial friends, which I'm kind of at that cusp, you're anywhere between 29 years old and 43 years old. I certainly fit into two big generational characteristics. One, I am a person that earns to spend, a very millennial characteristic of me. If you heard me speak in the past, I tell a funny story that's around my financial advisor asking me to put some funds in an investment account for some conservative investing. And as a lifelong entrepreneur, if where does my money go if I have extra money, it likely goes reinvested back into my business, my largest asset that produces the most for me. And so, as all of you might advise your business owners to diversify your personal financial portfolio and make it a little bit more conservative along the way. Well, the money never came into the investment account. So he finally pinned me down. He said, Scott, where is it? And I said, well, it's never coming. He said, why? What happened? And I said, well, I bought a 1966 Ford Mustang instead. So although I might argue with our financial advisor friends here on our webinar that that could be an asset, it is certainly not the conservative investing that we wanted. So when you look at exit strategy as somebody 29 to 43 years old, this combination of business, personal, and financial goals, we need financial advisors, and we need to be in tune to the personal financial strategy that we have. And last but not least, when you look at the younger millennial generation, we are a generation that are wild visionaries. We have these kind of crazy goals and crazy visions, but we can't harness them. So we're very ambitious, but we're not very framed and focused. What I love about the value acceleration methodology is it takes these 3-year visions, puts them into 1-year strategies, and then 90-day sprints. It incorporates the 3 legs of the stool on 2 concurrent paths, a business path that we're naturally on, and maybe not as natural, but a personal path where not only are we working on our businesses, but we're actually working on our lives as entrepreneurs as well. And so as these younger owners, 29 to 60 years old, are exposed over the decade to the works of the value acceleration methodology and the work of our certified exit planning advisors out in the field, we become more in tune to what exit strategy can do. And at least per the State of Owner Readiness Survey, we are seeing that millennials and Gen Xers are more prepared than their baby boomer counterparts. And we can see, I think, some of the most interesting statistics are the one at the top of your screen, where exit strategy has actually become the top priority, not for the boomers, but for the Gen Xers. According to the 2023 State of Owner Readiness Survey, 14% of boomers said exit strategy was in fact their top priority, but 36%, nearly 40% of Gen Xers said it was on the top of their priority list. I think certainly something to be proud of in our exit planning community and something to look forward to, because I think this is a giving generation that though we will sell companies again every decade, we will probably buy or start more and keep exiting along the way. And so I think we're in for a fun 5 to 10 years, certainly within our space. I think one of the biggest wins that we had in 2024 was that what we found is that 69% of owners that took the State of Owner Readiness Survey said that exit planning was on their priority list. So if you're familiar with the research, there's a question in there that says, to what extent have you concentrated on your exit strategy? And you can say little attention, no attention, some attention, it's on my priority list, or it's my top priority. What we found, if you took those kind of categories of priority list, 69% of owners are indicating that exit strategy is on that priority list, that they're actively working. what I think is also interesting about this is that 10 years ago in 2013, when we asked privately held business owners in America that question, only 6% of owners said it was on their priority list. So over the course of a decade, we in the exit planning community and our certified exit planning advisors in the field have done such a great job, I think, of educating the privately held business owners in our country that they've gone from 6% to 69%. And I think that breaks down a lot of hurdles that a lot of our founding certified exit planning advisors had to jump over and navigate. That when they came out of the SEPA program, although they might have been very inspired, they had a whole marketplace that they had to go out and educate all over again because only 6% of owners really knew what exit planning was and had it on their priority list. So I think a lot more educated business owners in the market today. Next, it is not a $10 trillion opportunity anymore. It is a $14 trillion opportunity with about 9 million that we are going to see transition over the next 5 years. I think if we took anything out of the State of Owner Readiness Survey, it is this moment that you see indicated by these stats at the bottom of your screen. 57% of baby boomer owners said that they would like to exit their company in the next 5 years, and 38% of the Generation X, so again, people 44 years old to 60 years old, said that they would like to do the same. So I think it's very timely for the baby boomers. You kind of heard me talk through this at the top of our presentation. I certainly believe that they are just in that age range to start thinking about wanting to slow down a bit and do other things in their life. My dad is in his middle 60s. He's been working for 45 years. So I think it's natural that he wants to go be a grandfather and go do some other things in life. Again, what I think is interesting and a huge opportunity, and I think could be a wildly fun market, are these people from 44 to 60 years old, nearly 40% of them that are indicating the same. They also want to exit in the next 5 years. So again, I think exit is now. I think it is all around us. And folks, I think if you're a certified exit planning advisor or a professional advisor in this space, it is a fantastic space to be in. I think business owners, although we can be very difficult and stubborn sometimes, I think that it is going to be a really fun market, and what a great service to provide. I think that it is a new way of doing business in our country today. You will hear me say this often in this State of the Institute address and often throughout the year. I believe that many of my mentors through my business career have taught me to be a very successful business owner and own a very strong and successful company. And it hasn't been until my exposure into the value acceleration methodology and to folks like all of you, our certified exit planning advisors, where they then taught me how to have a significant company as well. And I think that given the age demographic and their interest in exit planning, we can help them move from success to significant fairly quickly. And I think that with that in mind, you have companies that will come after them and business owners that will come after them, growing up not knowing anything different. It is not about building a successful company. It's about building a significant one. And so obviously our team has gotten together with our faculty, our chapter presidents, and other centers of influence that we have here at EPI. And we created a response, if you will, to the shifting market so that we as an exit planning community and we as a SEPA community can really harness the opportunity and be there with our professional advisors. So let's talk a little bit about the future. For me, the future is about growth and impact. It's about executing on a model and creating action and results. By 2028, the Exit Planning Institute wants to become the third largest professional credential in the marketplace. So that certified exit planning advisors are seen basically right below what I would consider the top 2 designations in our country today, are certainly the most notable. The first one being our certified public accountants, CPAs. In the United States, there's about 600,000 of you, and I believe you were founded back in 1892. And if you're looking at our certified financial planners at the CFP board, you guys were founded in 1985, I believe, and there's roughly 200,000 of you. Today, there are nearly 8,000 certified exit planning advisors in the market, and by 2028, we'll have 22,000 certified exit planning advisors in the market or more. And that is tied to a long-term vision of growth and impact. I think that We are starting to certainly get momentum. Again, I think exit is all around us, but by 2028, we'll be well into this 5-year to 10-year transition of privately held businesses and their owners in our country. And if we have 20,000 plus certified exit planning advisors in the market, I believe that we can make a significant impact in how we do business here in America. And I think that it'll come a time where the business owner is playing golf with their advisor, they're at some type of entertainment event, or maybe they're just in their quarterly review or annual tax planning meeting, and they say, hey, I read about these people called certified exit planning advisors. Are you one of them? And that advisor, if they have to ask that question, is likely not. And that advisor will come join our community, and that owner will be seeking us out. And so the big goal is 22,000 certified exit planning advisors by 2028, thus becoming the third largest credential in the United States. For us, living a childhood dream a little bit here for me, we have showcased our drivevalue.com platform. And so for those of you that are unfamiliar with this new strategic initiative that we have here at EPI, this is a free introductory educational platform for business owners, business leaders, the folks internally, like their executive team that surround them, and the next generation of soon-to-be family, perhaps, business owners or employee business owners that will take over these transitioning companies. I think if we're going to go all the way to 22,000 SEPAs, we should start acting like that today, that we are that big and that we are that significant. And I think it's time at nearly 8,000 certified exit planning advisors that we surround ourselves with championship-like mindset, best-in-class practices, and we let owners know who we are, that we shouldn't be embracing the 3 legs of the stool. We should be venturing down the path of the value acceleration methodology, and that we should be embracing the certified exit planning advisor. So folks, and SEPA is a part of our audience today. This is my SEPA commercial. I was influenced when we bought EPI back in 2012. I was watching the Super Bowl, and a CFP commercial came on, and they had 3 scenarios talking about creating financial freedom. They had a young couple with kids, they had a retired couple, and they had a business owner. In fact, he had a mask on and he was welding something. And the 3 scenarios said, if you want financial freedom, make sure your advisor is a certified financial planner. And I'm saying, if you want a significant company, if you want to drive value into your company while aligning your business, personal, and financial goals, the advisor leading that and the advisors on your team should in fact be a certified exit planning advisor. DriveValue.com takes all of that, puts it in front of business owners, and I think in a very unique way. One, an online platform where business owners, leaders, and next generation owners can come in and learn about what it takes to drive value and align business, personal, and financial goals. Then we're going to meet owners where they are. We're going to go out to different entertainment venues, whether that's a tennis court, a golf course, a basketball arena, or in this case, a NASCAR racetrack. And we are going to go entertain the owners while educating them. On June 1st of 2025 this year, we will debut the DriveValue.com car at Nashville Super Speedway. It'll be turning hard left and flying around that track. And hopefully our business owners that we have there in person and those that will see us on TV and amongst the thousands of owners that are a part of the NASCAR fanhood, they will see Drive Value and get to learn more about what the exit planning advisor is. I think it is a wonderful and yet challenging campaign that we have launched to bring more awareness to the value acceleration methodology and the certified exit planning advisor. NASCAR particularly has 9.7 million business owners a part of their fanhood, and that's where we will start. As we move into the fall of 2025, DriveValue.com will host 8 regional Drive Value symposiums in 8 cities across America. And so I welcome you to DriveValue.com and watch this platform evolve. The official launch of Drive Value is on March 19th. So if you're not coming to our launch party in Cleveland, be sure to tune in to all of your social media platforms as you see this brand roll out. As you see us pictured in the top right corner at one of my favorite racetracks, Bristol Motor Speedway. We have sponsored the number 42 Legacy Motor Club DriveValue.com car with our driver, John Hunter Nemechek. I was just in Charlotte to start the year at Legacy Motor Club, where they delivered our driver's suit. So I get that driver's suit, though John Hunter is quite a bit smaller than me. I might have to lose some weight and perhaps get a little shorter to fit into this thing, but maybe I'll be wearing that in a city near you when we hit our drivevalue.com regional symposiums in the fall. But a really fun campaign to debut in front of owners, and please stay tuned to it. There's a lot of cool stories that will come and a lot of impact that I think will be had. There are three major areas of focus here at the Exit Planning Institute, and for some of us, we might call these EPI's big rocks. So if you wanted to look kind of under the hood at EPI, this is really our strategic initiatives really for the next 2 years. In order to be the third largest and some of the most impactful advisors out in the marketplace today, I believe we need to do three things, and we need to do them damn well. First, we need to have a significant SEPA community. We have to have significant SEPA community growth, and that is both quality and quantity. We need to have more advisors entering the marketplace with the knowledge of a certified exit planning advisor and value acceleration methodology, but they also have to be quality advisors. So we need to educate them along the way in our Beyond SEPA path, which I'll talk about. But we also need to renew and add. So we'll be adding 3,000 new certified exit planning advisors this year while renewing our current advisors inside of the community. But significant SEPA community growth is a priority for us, focusing both on volume and on the quality of the certified exit planning advisor entering the market. Two, I think in order to be the third largest professional credential in the market, we need a world-class exit planning summit. I think the summit has really blossomed into an event that's not just for the certified exit planning advisor, but for any advisor that is interested in deepening their relationship with the business owner through experiences, people, and innovation. So if you'd like to be exposed to the SEPA community, you like the Exit Planning Institute's network, and you like our resources and education, we host a world-class summit every single year that is focused on supporting the professional advisor in their pursuit of excellence and their pursuit of deepening their relationship with business owner. But I think that is a significant strategic thrust to our overall success. And last but not least, the third most important thing that we can do is advance our strategic relationships. I think if you talk to any business owner, one of the reasons that they are successful in what they do is not just because of them and their teams, but it's because of the overall community. It's because of these strategic relationships that allow them to do business better and to be more impactful to their clients and partners. And so for me, I want to bring high quality relationships that give you the tools, the resources, the knowledge to go out and make an impact with your business owners across the United States and frankly across the globe. So that is going to be our kind of our strategic areas of focus as we move through the next couple of years. I want to dive into a few of those as it relates to kind of those areas of focus and highlight some of the key initiatives that we have here in 2025. First, if you are a part of the January SEPA program and you're tuning in today, you have been the first to be exposed to what we call your Beyond SEPA path. The Beyond SEPA path is really about integrating everything that you've learned at the Certified Exit Planning Advisor credential. It's about building your confidence and about building your connections. We have a 3-year journey that you will follow that starts with the foundation building of the 120-day playbook, advances yourselves into integration, and then expands yourself into growth and expertise. So I'm really excited for all of our SEPAs to be exposed to our Beyond SEPA path. For those of you that became SEPAs in 2024 or prior, you have all of this stuff inside of your member center today. I would challenge you to get in there, open up the 120-day playbook, open up your Beyond SEPA roadmap, get a call together with your account management team, and get on your Beyond SEPA path. It is never too late to start. Next is our Exit Planning Summit. As I mentioned, we're celebrating 20 years of the Exit Planning Institute, but we're also celebrating 10 years of the Exit Planning Summit. Again, a strategic initiative for us at EPI. We'll have nearly 1,000 advisors in attendance with us in May at the Sunseeker Resort. If you have not been, it is a logical next step for you as a SEPA. It is really about experiences, people, and innovation. It's about innovative tools and solutions. It's about team building and expanding your expanding team. It is about challenging and transformational educational experiences. Next is our EPI Academy. Our EPI Academy is also a big strategic thrust for us today. This is really about the expansion of exit planning knowledge. We are known for our certified exit planning advisors, but maybe what a lot of people don't know is that we have nearly 20,000 individual advisors that interact with EPI every single year. They come to webinars like this. They could be reading our materials. They could be listening to the podcast, attending chapter meetings. I'm not saying the credential is right for everybody, but I'm saying if you want to be an impactful a professional advisor with business owners, you need to know something about the value acceleration methodology, and you need to understand what it means to be a part of an exit planning team. The EPI Academy product and platform allows those who credentialing is not right for them to expand their footprint and expand their knowledge. And for those of us that are certified exit planning advisors, it certainly allows us to span both our knowledge and our network. And I think the big strategic change that you'll see inside of the Academy this year is that we're going to bring back some in-person education throughout the United States. Next are chapters. We have changed our strategy a little bit with our chapter network. For many of you that have been involved with EPI over the last 10 or so years, the chapter platform has been a cornerstone of who we are, driving unique experiences into local communities. We have several chapter launches, as you can see on your screen, slated for 2025. We're really excited to add 6 more chapters to the existing 30 chapter network. The big change that we're seeing is that we are going to be a little bit more direct in the cities that we want to be in. So over the next 2 years, EPI wants to be in the top 20 markets in the United States, but we also want to be inside of the top 5 emerging entrepreneurial cities in the United States. Our first city that we landed in, that we launched just a couple of weeks ago, was Raleigh-Durham. They are in some of the most entrepreneurial and business-friendly cities in the United States. There are top 5 cities that we are looking to come into over the next 2 years. And so by January 1st of 2027, we can say that EPI is in the top 20 markets in the United States and the 5 most entrepreneurial and emerging cities in the United States as well. There are certainly some other key initiatives that we have throughout the year. We began the year in our January SEPA program just a few weeks ago, launching what we call SEPA 4.0, an expanded program. We added new faculty. We added a new exam platform. We added a bunch of new learning experiences in our 3-layered learning process. And maybe most importantly, we added a 17th module of the SEPA program, a whole module around personal planning and personal purpose for business owners, really capturing all 3 legs of the stool. We are certainly expanding the EPI team. I am happy to say that we are moving into a new office space and what I call a collaboration space and center. I look forward to welcoming many of you into Cleveland, Ohio, to visit our facility and deepen your knowledge with us. We are moving into 16,000 square feet. Today, in the office that I'm in today, is 6,000 square feet. So a big investment into the future. We are creating our online community, also a deep strategic initiative for us. We would like to be able to connect SEPAs and partners across the globe. I think about this initiative as the LinkedIn or Facebook for exit planners. We will put our community online so that we can cross collaborate in a lot easier, certainly an easier way. We can have deeper conversations. We can be sharing data. We could be sharing tools and process and content. We also are forming what's called a thought leadership council. These are some of the top thought leaders inside of the exit planning community. They are basically another tier to our EPI faculty that will shape the future of the value acceleration methodology with us. And we're forming an official board of advisors. Chris and I, as owners, have a board and have a SEPA team of our own, but we are formalizing particularly a board of advisors that will allow us to get to those 22,000 members. And last but not least, a ton of new content. So maybe let's highlight 2 or 3 of these things. First off, finally a magazine. I can tell you that I love a magazine. I love a good read. I love walking through an airport and picking up magazines along the way. Maybe it's a little old school of me, but I always thought it would be a significant move for the Exit Planning Institute to produce a magazine all about exit planning and all about the value acceleration methodology and the advisors within this community. We will debut today. I'll have a QR code for you here momentarily, what we call the annual exit. And the annual exit is a collection of different experts within the space, SEPAs, non-SEPAs, owner-facing, advisor-facing, really a collection of all the top knowledge and insights in one place that we call the annual exit. Our first annual exit features our exit planner of the year, Amy Wirtz, a longtime certified exit planning advisor that last year made an absolute deep impact in our industry and in our profession and with her business owner clients, thus gaining her the recognition of exit planner of the year. We will also feature new state of owner readiness survey results with a concentration on age and generational demographics and characteristics. And so playing off the 2023 State of Owner Readiness Survey, we will start to slice and dice that research in different ways. We also have our regional State of Owner Readiness Survey reports and national State of Owner Readiness Survey reports. We'll be doing one in Nashville, a part of our drivevalue.com week. We will launch our Nashville chapter. We will debut the state of Tennessee State of Owner Readiness Survey results. We will have trackside business owner education at Nashville Superspeedway, and the drivevalue.com car will be on track on June 1st. We're also conducting the first ever national State of Owner Readiness Survey in Canada. And then last but not least, you guys heard me at the top of the hour talk about one of my favorite pieces we created in 2024. We will have Collection 2 and Collection 3 hit the market this year of mastering the market, following the best-in-class SEPA elements. So I told you I'd tell them to you. If you are a certified exit planning advisor sitting on our State of the Institute address today, we have done research on all of you, and we found that the top advisors have three things in common. Number one, they have changed their approach and language with business owners. They have embraced the teachings of the value acceleration methodology, and they use that language to better engage and inspire their business owners. That's one. Two, they have become expert collaborators and team builders, building out their exit planning team so they can be a true resource to a business owner in multiple different ways. And last but not least, they have a mentality of always be learning. They are a purposeful growth type advisor, a core value that we have here at the Exit Planning Institute. As more and more owners embrace the value acceleration methodology, we learn more, both as the Exit Planning Institute and as the professional advisor. So we have to be constantly evolving the way that we're thinking. Those are the top three best-in-class characteristics. And the next two collections will feature those best-in-class characteristics. The next collection will be on connecting people, team building, and collection 3 will be all around lifelong learning. And so really excited to have those hit the market. Last but not least, and I don't know if John, if we have any time for questions, happy to open it up, and I want to give you all a QR code so that you can get to that annual Exit magazine. We are celebrating 20 years of the Exit Planning Institute, and I think for those that represent business owners, hitting the 20th anniversary of your company is something that is pretty significant. For me, it's even more significant because it's not just about a privately held business, it's about a community of certified exit planning advisors. 20 years ago, Pete and Rich, two investment bankers in Chicago, Illinois, had an idea. They said, am I truly meeting all my clients' objectives? And what they realized is that they were not. They were certainly maximizing value and minimizing taxes, but they had no concentration on personal planning or personal financial planning. They went on a journey to create the three-legged stool approach in 2005. And in 2007, they hosted their first certified exit planning advisor program where they taught that three-legged stool approach. In 2012, Dad and I bought the Exit Planning Institute, and in 2013, we implemented the value acceleration methodology into the course curriculum, a part of the credentialing program that we know as SEPA. And I am wildly excited to be celebrating that anniversary with all of you to help change owner outcomes and build more significant companies here in the United States. Over the first 45 days of the year, folks, I've traveled quite a bit from San Diego to Salt Lake City to Charlotte and cities in between. I've already gotten the question is, Scott, you're almost third generation, call it exit planning. Pete and Rich started with the concept, this alignment of the three legs of the stool. Your dad brought process and methodology that took these concepts and brought them to life, both for us as professional advisors and for us as business owners. We could finally start implementing these philosophies into what we do and who we are. So Scott, what is your team's or what is your legacy that you might leave? And for me, I think it's the expansion of the value acceleration methodology into the business owner crowd. I think that in a perfect world, we can have highly educated owners matching with highly educated advisors that we call certified exit planning advisors. For me, though it sounds deep, and perhaps it is, I think we are on a mission today to change the way the American business owner does business in our country. It is not about year over year income. It is about long term value creation that results in creating lasting legacies for American families across our country. And so I am passionate about building our EPI community, and I am even more passionate about meeting the owner where they are and showcasing a full community of certified exit planning advisors that can help them achieve significance. So I really appreciate everybody hanging out with us on our 2025 State of the Institute address. I'm going to toss it back over to John. John, I quite frankly don't even know what time it is. So I might be 10 minutes over. I might be 5 minutes under. Who knows? But if we have some time for questions, happy to take them.
You're close, Scott. 4 minutes under. Nice job.
Perfect.
So there were a couple questions came in. Some of them basically focused around drive value. And I think a good one here is who is the target audience for drive value? Is it our client? Is it clients? Is it CEPAs? Who's that primarily targeting?
The target audience for drivevalue.com is the privately held business owner and their company. And so from really any revenue range, John, you could be just starting out with $500,000 of revenue, or you could have $200 million of revenue. If you're a business owner looking to understand what it takes to significantly drive value into your company, 5 to 10x your wealth, all while aligning your business, personal, and financial goals, go to drivevalue.com and we'll teach you.
Another question is regarding your drive value road shows. What cities are you going to be hitting along your travels there?
Well, perhaps my marketing team will love it. I'm not going to give this one away. I give away our summit locations all the time, but for those listening in the other room, don't worry. I won't tell you where we're going in 26 and 27. You'll have to come to the summit to find out. And you'll also have to stay tuned to drivevalue.com and our Exit Planning Institute social media platforms. In March, after we get through March 19th's launch party of drivevalue.com, we will showcase the 8 cities coast to coast. So we will start in October on the East Coast and work our way to warmer weather in November on the West Coast, but it'll likely be in a major city near you.
Okay. A couple other ones. That is pretty much wraps it up, Scott. So those are all the questions that came through. A lot of people did ask for the slides, so we'll make sure we get those out post-program here. So if there's anything else anybody needs, please feel free to just reach out to us. And here's the QR code for the annual Exit magazine. Scott, thank you so much for hopping on today and going through everything with us. A lot of insightful information. If anybody needs anything, please feel free to reach out to us, and we will see you next week. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Thanks, everybody.